Hi, it's Lucy, and today I'm here to do my best books of 2020 video. I know I'm probably the last one to do this. It's now February. So there's that. I think I did it pretty late last year too. But yeah, these are the best books that I read in 2020. These are not books that came out in 2020, although some of them are, but it's the books that I read, not the books that were released. If you do want to hear about books that were released in 2020, you can check out my tier ranking video that I did, linked in the cards and down below. Also, I just want to point out, I guess, not to diminish any of these books, but I feel like for the past couple of years, Tucker, please, can you stop? I feel like for the past couple of years, unfortunately, I have been having trouble, truly loving books. So just a note, I did not rate all of these books 5 stars, but these are the highest of the ones that I read in 2020. So not all of these are lifetime favorites, but they were the favorites of the ones that I read last year. And without further ado, let's get into the best books, my favorite books of 2020. Also, these books are in order. They are in order from not as most favorite to most favorite, because I don't want to say least favorite because it's still a favorite. It's just not the most favorite, if that makes sense. But yes. First, we have The Astonishing Color of After by Emily X.R. Pan. This is a book that I appreciated so much when I read it. I regretted putting it off for as long as I did. This has the makings of everything that I enjoy in books. It has that fabulous magical realism aspect that I really enjoy so much. We follow a girl whose mother dies by suicide, and our main character believes that her mother turned into a bird afterwards. And because of that, and also in order to get closer to her mother's family, she decides that she wants to visit her maternal grandparents, also known as her mother's parents, in Taiwan, because our main character, Lee, is half Asian and half white. And we follow her as she's exploring Taiwan and also kind of seeing that bird around and learning about her family. There's whole chapters in here that are really hard to explain because they are magical realism aspects. They don't really happen, but they kind of happen. And it's just really fascinating. I thought the writing in here was beautiful and I really enjoyed my time reading it. Next, we have When You Were Everything by Ashley Woodfolk. I feel like I've recommended this multiple times over the course of the year. I read this earlier last year, maybe in April. So not that early actually. But yes, this follows a friendship breakup where our main character is dealing with the after effects of her and her best friend deciding not to be friends anymore. And she's also dealing with some family stuff because her parents are separating, and she's just dealing with going through the world anew because she doesn't have this person that she always thought she would have and she had previously. So yes, it's kind of sad and it's kind of stressful because you really want to know why they stopped being friends. But I really liked how it dealt with it, and I think it's an important topic that not enough books cover, because especially when you're younger and you don't know why people don't want to be friends with you, it's really hard to get through, and our society really doesn't tell you how to get through because there's so much information about relationship, romantic relationship breakups and things like that, which are hard, but friendship breakups can be just as hard because friends are important. So I really appreciated having that in the story. The main character is Black, and that's also part of the story. And her former friend was Indian, and it talks a little bit about being one of a few people of color and things like that. And I really enjoyed it. Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reed. I'm sure you've heard of, seen around. I ended up really enjoying it. This follows a woman named Amira who is babysitting for a more privileged white lady named Alex, and after an event happens at Alex's house, she calls Amira so she can come take the child away because they have to call the cops and they don't want the kid there for that. So Amira comes, she takes the kid, and she decides to go to a grocery store that's akin to Whole Foods. And because she is a Black girl with a white child, people around her get suspicious and it becomes a whole thing. The book kind of takes off from there. Alex starts to make it her mission to make Amira's life better and apologize because of her white guilt because of what happened to Amira. Amira's trying to forget about it. And then there's a third character who comes in that kind of connects the two, not connects, but has a connection to both of them. And it gets really funny, real weird. I thought that was really interesting. And those two characters showed different sides of white saviorism, I guess. And I really liked how it showed that. I liked how intensely readable this is. You don't want to put it down when you read it, and it just has like a really readable writing style. I'm not sure how else to say it, but it doesn't feel like it goes over your head, even though it is dealing with like some more highbrow topics. I also really liked, I don't want to say I like the representation, but I like the representation because Amira is a Black girl who's like 2 years older than me. I think she turns like 26 in this book, and she like doesn't know what she's doing yet, and she doesn't have like huge aspirations. And I just really appreciate that, because so often in books, in media, especially when it comes to Black people, we're often shown as either extraordinarily downtrodden, or you have to be like that high-powered Black CEO, and she's neither. She doesn't want to be that high-powered CEO. And so I just really like that. I Want to Be Where You Are by Christina Forrest. This is just such a fun read. We follow Chloe, who wants to become a ballerina, and she wants to go audition for a dance company that is run by her like ballet idol, but her mom forbids it because she doesn't want her to pursue dance professionally like that. And so Chloe decides that she's gonna do it anyway, and she decides to go and audition on a week when her mom will be out of town. But as she's heading out of her house, she sees her neighbor, who was a former friend, now not quite enemy, but now someone she doesn't really hang out with, doesn't like. And he sees her coming out of her house, and he's like, "Where are you going?" And she's like, "Mind your business." And he's like, "I'm coming." So she has to go on a road trip with him as she goes on her way to this dance audition. And so it's like a romance, hijinks ensue. It's a really fun read, and I just liked it for how lighthearted and fun it is. I love ballerinas, and I especially love Black ballerinas, so this was very enjoyable to me. A Match Made in Mendi by Nandini Bajpai. This was the most unexpected to be on this list, because I really enjoyed it when I read it, but I didn't realize how much I enjoyed it until afterwards. But this follows a girl who comes from a long line of family matchmakers, but she doesn't want anything to do with it until her best friend comes up with the idea to make a matchmaking app, which they then rope in her brother as well, and they make a matchmaking app for their whole school that ends up turning their high school social hierarchy upside down. And so they have to like deal with the after effects of that, and hijinks ensue, and it's just a really fun read. There's also a really cute romance in here. I really appreciated the matchmaking aspect of it because, like I mentioned in the synopsis, she comes from like a long line of Indian matchmakers, so it's like a family tradition. There's like rules and things that they do about it. Her mom runs the business where they do that for other people still, and it was all really interesting. There's also some like extra like cultural aspects to the story that are like sprinkled in, and I really enjoyed that. The Stars and the Blackness Between Them by Junauda Petrus. We follow two girls here. First, we follow Audrey, who is Trinidadian and is forced to leave Trinidad to go live with her father in Minneapolis after her mother finds out that she's gay, basically, and kicks her out. And we also follow Mabel, who is in Minneapolis, and her parents are friends with Audrey's dad, so they meet and things blossom from there. And it's a really beautiful love story. Almost everything about it was perfect. I really liked the writing. This has Trinidadian Creole in it. I have heard some things about the Trinidadian Creole not being completely accurate. I am not Trinidadian, so I can't comment on that. So I'm going to leave that to the people who can, and that will be linked down below. But otherwise, I really enjoyed the writing of this. It's just so like lyrical and beautiful. There's so many great lines in this story. And just the love story between these two characters, because it is a love story, having both the characters come to terms with their sexuality, especially Audrey, who is dealing with her homophobic parent. And I do want to put a trigger warning for that because her mom says some nasty things. And just everything about the story was really beautiful. Just the ending of it wasn't my kind of ending, but I now, months later, can realize how it did fit the story. But yeah, I just really enjoyed this. When the Moon Was Ours by Anna Marie McElmore, another book where the writing really gets me going. This book follows Miel and Sam, where Miel has roses that grow out of her wrists, and Miel is kind of outcasted because it's rumored that she like fell out of a water tower when she was 5, and because of the roses that grow out of her wrists. And then we also follow Sam, who is known for the moons that he paints and hangs around the town and in the trees. And both of these people are kind of outcasts, and they both stay away from the Bonner girls, who are impossibly beautiful sisters rumored to be witches. Now the Bonner girls have decided that the scent of Miel's roses will make anyone fall in love with them, so they start harassing her for her roses, and they're willing to spill all of Miel's secrets in order to get them from her. And so it's about that. It's about like a lot of other things. Sam is a trans boy, so it's about that, about what his family had to go through, and Miel wanting to know about her family, about her background, like where she came from. And they both come together to be such a beautiful story. Like I said, the writing for this is just magical. I knew I was gonna love Macklemore's writing, and I was not disappointed at all. I absolutely recommend this. I just love this so much. And last but not least, we have Raybearer by Jordan Afreco. I still feel like I haven't been clear about how much I love this book. I am still planning to do a review video of it. If it's not up already, it will be up soon. It'll be linked in the description box and in the cards if you're interested. But this is a complex fantasy story. This follows a girl named Tarisai who has grown up very isolated. She's basically only taken care of by her mother's servants, and her mother is a woman known as the Lady, and she does not appear to Tarisai that often. She doesn't visit her that often. Tarisai is always so excited for her to visit because she's not there that often. But when Tarisai turns 11, the Lady sends her off to the capital so that she can become one of the Crown Prince's Council of 11. This council are all held together by something known as the Ray, which is a power that the royal family has that is able to connect people in order to protect the royal family. And the people who are connected by the Ray have a bond closer than family, so this is obviously very appealing to Tarisai. However, there is a catch because the Lady has actually cursed her so that when she gains the Crown Prince's trust, she is then compelled to kill him. And so the story is about Tarisai working to not do that. She wants to take charge of her own destiny, and we follow her as she does that over until she's 18, I think, or 19. And I really liked the long time span of the book and just the entire story. Everything about it was crafted so well. The writing was done so well. The entire plot line was done so well. It all made sense in the end. It all felt so carefully plotted and crafted. All of the characters were done so well. You feel for so many of the individual side characters. There is a romance in here, and that's not what you expect. And I just really enjoyed that aspect of the story. It also deals with family and abusive parents in a way that I haven't really seen in a YA book. And I just loved every aspect of the story so much. I don't know how to explain that so well, but yes, it was so good, amazing, fabulous, insert Lady Gaga gif here, and I loved it. So my battery is about to run out, so thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up in the comments down below. Give me a star emoji, and also let me know what was your favorite book that you read in 2020, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!